Welcome back to thejonas.net. My name is Donald Jonas. This is the third tutorial video on setting up Zentyal. The first one was the initial configuration. In the second video, we actually set up a DNS and DHCP environment. Next, we're going to set up LDAP, a couple of users, and a primary domain controller. So let's begin. Let's go into users and groups and choose LDAP. This is very simple. You can see all your LDAP parameters already pre-configured. It even does your password. That is some pretty sophisticated complexity. And we're just going to choose PAM, so it saves it as into the local environment. And we're going to choose bash. That's pretty much it for configuring the LDAP on this. It's very simple. Save changes. Run through the little wizard to save the changes you just made. That took about a minute for everything, maybe a little more. Very simple. Okay, once that is done saving, we're going to go into the file sharing, and we're going to enable the primary domain controller. Let's give it a name. Let's just call it my test. Keep everything simple. And give it a description. Test VM domain. You can call it whatever you like. If you want to enable roaming profiles is the home folder that is created when you create an account on the server. Wherever you move from PC to PC, it will map out the same drive and your profile. The bonuses to that is, as long as you got the same software installed on all the different PCs, you can pretty much go anywhere and pick up your favorites, all your desktop items. I mean, it's really nice, but as these desktops grow, it has to save and remap out every time you log on, so it can really slow up that process of your computer. I don't really, it's not really my cup of tea, so that comes down once again to individual choice. And we all want an individual personal directory mapped out, so we'll just leave it as the H drive. And that's it. And let's save it. Once that is saved, we're going to set up a couple of users. First we'll set up a group, and then we'll set up 2 users. So let's go into users and groups. So set up a group. We'll call the group, let's call it my test. Simple enough. And we'll add it. And then we'll go into users. Okay, the first user. Let's make one up for myself, Donald. I'll just put my initial in. Actually, I guess I should put my name in. And my initial, the last name. Password. And if we want, we can add myself to the group I created. And you can do an add and edit. And we can make the user I created a admin rights. The nice thing about the admin rights is that when I log on to any PC on this domain, I will be a local admin, so I can join PCs to the domain and have rights to more directories and other things, adding, installing, and removing software on PCs. If you don't check that, when a person signs on, they'll just have standard user rights, which in most cases is what most people probably should have. And for Zafra, which will be our mail environment, email environment, make this an admin too. This doesn't really change when you hit change and save, but you do have to go through that. And as you can see, we'll just click edit the preferences, and see, it saved it. Now here's Coda. This will create a local profile for you under the home folder on the Linux server. 100 megabytes is not quite enough. So there's 1 gig, give myself 10 gig. And I'll hit change. And I know it's going to say nothing to save, but you still have to go through that, I've noticed. And we'll go into users again, and I'll create another user. This one I'll call test. And name test. Because I want to be able to send an email back and forth during this tutorial. So I need a couple users created. Not necessary to add them to the group. Okay, now we have 2 users created and one that has admin rights. Okay, now we have the LDAP configured and a couple of LDAP/Samba users. We have a Samba primary domain controller. I have a virtualization of Windows running here. Let's slide this over and see if we can join this Windows 7 environment to the essential domain. Slide this over. Match it right up. And under advanced, as if you were going to join a ordinary PC to a domain. We called it my test, the name of the domain. And Donald, the user we created, does have rights to join. Actually, the password is and now normally a Windows XP machine would join immediately. This is going to fail. Windows 7 is a little bit different. I wanted it to fail on purpose so you can see that. You have to do a quick registry change. Now if it's Windows XP or below, that would have joined. So if you go to my website here and type in registration configuration here, we'll just copy that and let's just create a text file real quick here. And we'll call it test.reg. And let's edit this and do a file save. And we have to rename this real quick. Actually, I don't think I have file extensions being shown in this virtualization. So let's just turn that on real quick. And hide file extension types. Okay. Now let's rename that as an REG, a reg file. So it's pretty simple. You can go to my website and just real quick grab this little bit of code and create a text file, save it as a .reg, double click it, add it to your registry, and give that a yes. And it's really not much, it's just basically allowing it to join a Samba domain, and that's it. And let's try it again. We'll start from the beginning here. Too many passwords in life. Keep forgetting which password I'm using. Okay. Now after we made a quick registry change, and give it a moment. Hey look, it joined just fine to a Linux domain. And we will reboot it. I can just delete that now. And close out of that, and let's do a restart, and then we'll log back in with the user I'd created in LDAP. Now pause the video as it reboots. Okay, we're done with the reboot, and let's log in with the domain, the LDAP domain user we had created. Let's switch this. The user was Donald, and put in the password. I'm going to pause the video because it's going to take a minute to log in, and then it's got to create the initial profile for this user, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and we've just logged in, and we should have an H drive, and there's the H drive. I'll create a test folder or file. And let's just check a few things here. Let's test the DHCP. My test.local, excellent. See if we can get out to the internet. There's Yahoo, it's replying, excellent. And as you can see, it pulled the name off the LDAP server that we had set up earlier in this video. And that's pretty much it. So there is the file I had created test. Let me slide this virtualization out of the way. And we'll minimize the desktop here. And let's do a little file browsing here. And let's go to the home folder, Donald. Oh, I'm not in as user or root, so let's just go in as root real quick. And I will log off of here. And as that logs off, just do a quick exit and close out. And let's log out. It's actually better in its root because there is a few configurations I would like to do. And it automatically launches to the administrative web page. Okay, let's go back to the home folder. Pretty standard on all Linux, especially Ubuntu. There's Donald, and there's test. And there's test. So it's talking nicely. Everything's working good. Alright, there is something I would like to set up on here. It's a nice little feature, remote desktop, or as they call it, XRDP. Let me add this to desktop terminal. So this is a simple command. You apt-get install XRDP. And we'll give that a yes. The remote desktop is excellent for administration. That way I can log off. This is a very, very light desktop that they give you for Zentyal. It's not like your typical Ubuntu desktop where there's a lot of applications installed. This is very, very light. So we're going to have to beef it up a little bit. So let me close out of this and let's just do a quick log off, which is how you're going to have your server most of the time logged off. Bring back up the windows and let's just MSTSC, we'll use remote desktop, and we're going to connect. Put in the name of the server that we created. We created a record for that, my test, and yes, and we're going to go in as root. Remember the correct password here. Now how nice is this? You can be in your Windows environment, logged off your Linux server, but you can use the remote desktop protocol. That's just the administrative page. It's a self-signed certificate. And we can close out of that. Now you can actually work on this, and you're using RDP. See? Excellent. And let's just log off for right now. I just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, so we're pretty much done with the Windows right now. I'm just gonna shut that down, slide it out of the way. We're gonna go back into Zentyal. Now next, I would like to install Webmin. So you have two administrative consoles. Not only do you have the administrative console that it comes with, but Webmin, because there are some things in Webmin that are just unique and it's really handy to have. So I will cover that in my next tutorial video. In fact, in that tutorial video I will cover a few things. I will cover MySQL and the basic setup for that, and we'll get into doing the Zafra and the email portion of it. So thank you for watching this tutorial video, and the next one's coming up shortly. Thank you for visiting thejonas.net. And just one more quick note, the website where I got that reg file was on thejonas.net. Just type in the word Samba and you can view the web page, and you can save that information to a text file as a reg file, and that way you can get your Windows 7 PCs to join. So thank you and have a nice day.